Allo, my name is Sofia, and this is an audio version of my blog entry entitled Geolocating Schoolgirls in Paktia, Afghanistan. Introduction. So far, I have been focused on writing about geolocations in Ukraine, which tend to not be too hard. I wanted to show how different things can be when there is no recent satellite imagery, Google Street View, or local business photos to rely on. Therefore, for this blog entry, I'll be using a video of schoolgirls protesting in a province in Afghanistan. The video. The footage I geolocated was published on Twitter on September 10, 2022, and depicted a large group of girls walking along a road. It does not present much information behind their actions, so we'll need to find that out ourselves. Context behind photos and videos can often help with geolocation. Unfortunately, the tweet has since been deleted, but I always plan ahead and saved a copy for myself alongside a screenshot of the original tweet, plus I have archived it. Always remember to save your evidence for situations like this. So you can see this is a screenshot of the original tweet, and this is the archive version. Unfortunately, you cannot play this video, but I save it anyway. Below is the video saved to my YouTube account, so this is private, you cannot see it unless you click this. I suggest muting before playing it as it's quite loud and the sound won't help with the geolocation anyway. So let's just click and see what we can see. So we have schoolgirls, they're walking, you can see a bit of a road, there's some trees, some building, and here they are, they're coming, and there is a building there, and they walk past. There's nothing interesting going on here. They're just schoolgirls walking, they're protesting, they're in the middle of a road. This one probably lost a shoe. And that's it. It's almost 30 seconds and it's done. Context. Whilst in some online content, the user will give a general area of where the event took place, sometimes you're not that lucky. The video above said nothing about its whereabouts, so we need to look for clues elsewhere. The first thing you could do is look at the language used by the person sharing the video. Twitter is quite useful in terms of translations as it contains Google Translate embed, so you can simply click the Translate Tweet button and see what it says in your selected language. Quick note, despite the fact that you already know this is in Paktia, Afghanistan, we're going to go with the assumption that we do not know where it was, because we saw the video and this is what it said. Leaders, rest assured, tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, the whole nation will rise up and protest. Now is the time to get rid of this wrong and destructive decision. So you don't know what it's talking about just yet. When translating the text, you'll also find out, if you did not know already, which was the original language of the message. In this case, the tweet had been written in Pashto, one of the official languages of Afghanistan and Pakistan. Below is a map showing the areas in which Pashto is predominantly spoken. So you have Afghanistan, Pakistan, and this is the border. We can also quickly note that the tweet was shared by a pro-Taliban user as seen below. You can verify that by the presence of the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan flag on their profile, so it's there on the corner, and the many Taliban men on their banner. That alone already leads me to believe that the user will most likely be sharing content from Afghanistan and not Pakistan. Now that we have some extra details, we can just add it all together for a quick Google search. Something like Afghanistan Girls Street is already enough for Google to point you in the right direction as seen below. So, quick note, this was done as the video came out. So obviously, if you're looking at an event that was in the past, you have to change the time range. And within a few minutes, you went from not having any information about the video to knowing that this footage was probably of a girls' protest against their school closure in Paktia, an Afghan province. The little preview of the news article from Al Jazeera event tells you that it happened in the city of Gardes. So you see there, title, Afghan girls take to streets to protest school closure in Paktia. Dozens of girls rally in Gardes after Taliban shut 4 schools which were reopened on intervention of tribal elders. And here is the full context of this story. In March 2022, schools for female students above 6th grade were closed throughout Afghanistan denying girls access to formal education. After pressure from local people in Paktia, a province in the east of Afghanistan bordering Pakistan, see the language, several girls' schools reopened, allowing girls to resume their education. Unfortunately, as this was done without the knowledge of the Taliban government, shortly after media coverage of the situation, the schools were ordered to be closed again. On September 10, 2022, as many girls in Paktia found out that their school gates had been closed again, they marched the streets in protest against the decision. The 29-second video shared on Twitter shows dozens of girls wearing their school uniform walking along a street in Gardes, the capital of the province of Paktia. So geolocation. Now that we already have a city to focus on, we can try to see if there are any details in the footage that would help us narrow down our search even more. There's a few things we can see in the video that may help us geolocate the footage, but as you may have already noticed, there is very little to go with. The video shows dozens of schoolgirls walking on a wide paved road. There's a long building across the street and in front of it a row of tall trees. Right at the end of the video, the person filming pans to their side of the road where you can see an interesting building behind the girls and more tall trees next to the road. So you can see the building and there's more trees on this side. We already know that this protest happened in Gardes, which is a big city. There's quite a large area to cover in search for big roads with trees and buildings, or is it? As mentioned, at the 13-second mark, you can spot a tall and interesting building on the side of the road where the person filming is standing. At first glance, it looks quite a modern structure, and because it's very tall compared to the surroundings, we might be able to spot it somewhere else. In Afghanistan, like other similar countries, Google Street View is almost non-existent. In addition to that, there's a very limited amount of panoramic images or user-generated content available on Google Maps to help geolocate data. But there's a great tool you can use instead: YouTube. If you're expecting something obscure, I must disappoint. YouTube is great to find high-quality footage of almost every single big city in Afghanistan. They either come in the form of drone footage, seriously, dash cams, or local reporters talking to street vendors. I cannot overstate how amazing YouTube is to find current and high quality footage of streets in Afghanistan. I simply searched for Gardes in Farsi, so that's it, that's what I searched for, and got several useful results of the city, one of which the video highlighted below. And yes, I looked at many videos until I found this one. The video had been submitted in November 2020 and was about how the ancient building of Bala Hezar in Gardes was in danger of collapsing. Absolutely nothing to do with schoolgirls' protests, but I wasn't after that anyway. I wanted to look at the buildings, see if you can spot the one from the footage of the Afghan girls on the frame below, taken at the 19-second mark. And here is the building I was looking for. Below, on the left, the partial image from the girls' protesting footage, and on the right, the image from the YouTube video. The same building. So if you go there, that's it. I spotted it immediately. So now that we know that the building is somewhere in Gardes, we still need to locate it. Luckily for us, the YouTube video gave us a pretty good view of the city and not only showed an iconic monument, it also named it for us in the title as Bala Hezar. This will be quite easy now. We can simply locate the name of the monument in the description of the video, so this bit, which translates to Gardes Bala Hezar or Bala Hezar, and ask Google to point it out for us on Google Maps. So copy pasted that, the name, there. And Google is like, here it is. Now we can jump to Google Earth Pro with the coordinates so that we can rotate the camera easily to locate the monument. And afterwards try to spot the building seen in the girl's video. It does not take too long to find the specific shape of the monument wall in red, so you can see there, and line it in a way that I can see the street next to it in green. So this is from the YouTube video and this is from Google Earth Pro. So I found you have here the wall of the monument, you have here a few semicircular shape alongside the wall, the 1, 2, 3, and you have the street that we're looking at. Here we go. Now that I know the general direction where the building from the schoolgirls video should be, I can just navigate slowly until I track it down. You can see it highlighted in dark blue in the image below. So we start with this, we know this road along the way, and we just keep on going until we found it. If we really zoom in on the building and check the various satellite images from all the historical photos available on Google Earth Pro, we can really get an idea of the shape of the structure, and below are the 4 best images. So this again on Google Earth Pro, and I just check various historical imagery, and they're just taken at slightly different angles, so you can see a nice shape. As always, after geolocating something, we need to verify it in order to establish without reasonable doubt that this is in fact the correct location of the schoolgirls video. Verification. Comparing the frame from the schoolgirls protest at the top and the satellite image taken from the area in October 2018, which is at the bottom, we can establish that this is indeed the same location. The shape and details of the building match in purple, so you can see it's not straight, there's a nice little angle there. The specific tree with an interesting outline in blue also matches, so this section there, it's this section here, this one, the interesting one. And if you were to locate the nearest high school, you would find out that there are a few nearby, one of which is a girls' school from the direction where the girls were coming from, so from there. And the final coordinates of where the girls were seen in the protesting video in Gardes, Paktia province of Afghanistan on September 10, 2022 is this one. Conclusion. YouTube can be your best friend when Google is not there for you, as if they're not owned by the same company. I hope you remember to give it a go whenever you need to find footage from locations where Street View is not available, as I can almost guarantee that someone, somewhere, filmed something nearby. The trouble is going through endless videos looking for very specific buildings, but I like the challenge that comes with it, and I hope you do too. Thank you for listening. Sophia.